He said, Tamara, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have cancer. And not only do you have cancer, it's advanced. And you'll probably only live 5 to 7 years. You'll never be able to have kids, most likely. And oh yeah, it's incurable. How in the world do I tell my family this? I was truly on top of the world. Everything was going in the direction that I had hoped all my life. I wanted to be a TV reporter. I received my first major award as a journalist. And then right after that, I was awarded my own television show, my sports show. Reached 25 million people. Everything in the world was going great. I can't imagine that anything, would be going any better career-wise for me. My life was about to dramatically change a few months later. The tiredness and the fatigue turned into weight loss, but I never really felt sick. And then the lymph nodes popped up all over my body. The lymph nodes swell when we get sick, but the problem was I had 147 of them swollen all over my body. I was working a lot, but there'd be days where I could not get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed at all. They swelled so large that they were actually coming out of my legs. That's when I went to the doctor, and she's like, something's not normal, but it still didn't register that, hey, you're sick. On September 24th, 2009, I remember it was a sunny day, it was beautiful. I found out that I had a blood cancer all over my body. It was in 90% of my body. As a reporter, I want to approach things, I want to hit things head on. And I wanted to see what my inside of my body looked like. 147, I'll never forget that number. So immediately what went through my mind is I didn't ever pray and say, Lord, why is this happening to me? I said, Lord, what's next? I had such a peace that came over me. Initially I was in shock, but in just a matter, of seconds, a peace came over me. I remember knowing right then that no matter what happens, that it's going to be okay. A personal relationship with Jesus means surrendering completely. If I didn't have that relationship, I don't know how people can deal with, how they can deal with the sickness, how they can deal with the divorce, how they can deal with whatever battle is going on in their life. I don't know what it would be like. Having a relationship with Jesus Christ is living in the moment, and it's knowing that having joy and just having peace can really, really impact and change your life. It doesn't matter if I have the best ratings, it doesn't matter if I have the best TV show, it's that I go home and I know I'm content and know that I have the Lord on my side no matter what. If I did not have a relationship with the Lord, my cancer journey would be completely different. We're gonna struggle, we're gonna have battles, but at the end of the day, or at the end of the moment, it's okay because we're all forgiven. Say a prayer, ask the Lord, come into my heart, come into my life, and just know at that moment that everything is going to change for you. I hope to be a living testament, and I hope that He speaks through me to other people to tell my story. I love life, but if the Lord said, hey, Tamara, it's time for you to go home tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, then I'm fine with that. I'm Tamara Jolie, and I am second.
I have two questions I want to ask you guys, just to kind of make you guys think about this. Does God have the power to heal the brokenhearted? And second is, if that's true, then why do we get mad at God when bad things happen? So how many of you guys know that I'm a Dodger fan? A few of you guys? All right, guys, so the Dodgers were in contention to get to the World Series this year, and they were, oh man, they had like the most unbelievable luck. Like, they were really horrible at the beginning, so it's like all Dodger fans, you kind of break heart because they haven't really done anything lately. And then all of a sudden in like June through I think mid-August, they have like this amazing run. They go about 40 games and they have 8 losses. So out of 40 games, they have 40 wins and 8 losses. So gotta love it. You're like, yeah, pumped up. I'm like, yes, my Dodgers are gonna do some amazing things. So they make it all the way. They win the division. So now they're getting in there. They're playing really contentious baseball right now. And then all of a sudden, a few weeks ago, about a week ago, they're playing against St. Louis. And I was already kind of dreading that because I was like, oh, I see upset happening here, and I'm going to be brokenhearted again. Like, I haven't seen the Dodgers actually do anything huge in like forever since I was a little kid. So they're playing, and then all of a sudden, like, they're rallying back, they're winning these games, all of a sudden they just destroy them, and then all of a sudden they get to the last 2 games, and they're like, all right, they have to win out these last 2 games, otherwise they're not gonna make it. And what do? They choke, and they lose. Heartbroken. It's like, I just want to see them win a World Series in my time. So, it kind of sucks, but understand that it's not the end of the world. I can press on. So, but what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about basically that. Like, during those times of struggles and pain and any kind of like hardships that come through, like, are we relying on God? Are we making Him first? Just like when the good times happen, like, are we allowing God to be the first? Or are we taking those moments and saying, no, I'm going to run with it. It's me. It's all me. And that's it. So if you have your Bibles, we're going to jump into John 11, and we're going to read verses 21 through 27 and then 32 through 46. So to kind of give you guys a background of this. So basically, Jesus has been doing ministry. He's been healing people. He's been restoring people's lives. And then all of a sudden he gets a message that his great friend Lazarus is on the brink of death. And his 2 sisters, Mary and Martha, are really concerned. They really want Jesus to there because they're like, he's your good friend. Why aren't you should come in and you should help him. We know you can heal people. Just come. Like, it's something that we really want. Jesus doesn't do that. What does he do? He waits a few days. During those few days, Lazarus dies. Then Jesus finally decides he's going to go visit them. But the problem is because Mary and Martha are so heartbroken that they're just not happy with Jesus. They're like, why wouldn't you come? Your best friend is dying and you don't come. I kind of want to make you guys think about that too. Goes back to that. Can God heal the brokenhearted? So jumping into it, so it says, in verse 21, it says, Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would have not died. But even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. And whoever believes in me, though he dies, yet shall he live. And anyone who believes and lives in me shall never die. Do you believe this? Jesus is questioning Martha. If you really truly believe in me and you really want to have this relationship with me and you believe that I can heal people and I can bring back the dead, and not just only in the resurrection in the end, but like, what about now? Through this hardship, can you believe in me that I can do it? And then this is where she responds in 27. She says to him, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is coming into the world. All right, well, she kind of believes, but she never really answered his question there. Because he said, do you believe that I could rise him from the dead? And is that kind of like in our lives, like when we're going through things and like God says, just trust in me. Like, come close to me. Draw near to me. Do we do that? I know in my life, sometimes when I'm dealing with struggles in situations, I don't always want to run to God. I always want to take it upon myself. I always want to say, what can I do to fix this situation? Even though I know God can restore me, God can fix the situation, God can bring restoration in my life. But it's kind of like us all. We all kind of have that kind of like half-believe kind of thing. Like, I know the truth, but I just kind of want to do it on my own. So jumping into 32, it says, so now Mary. So Mary comes. And she says, when she see Jesus, she saw him, she fell at his feet, saying, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Same time. Again, same question. You notice how they both asked the exact same question? Like, they're kind of demanding Jesus to have been there. Kind of being like, whoa, there's this problem coming up. Why weren't you there? Like I said, why do we always have that problem where we always question God in those moments when there's problems? But when things are going great, we just kind of forget about it. We kind of push God to the side, and we're like, well, I'm doing it. Look at all the stuff that's going on in my life. I must be doing it. And I'm taking the step forward and saying, it's all me. When Jesus is in the background saying, hello, I'm here. Hello. What about me? I'm doing great things through you. But the great thing about God is he allows us to do that because it's our sinful nature. He's like, all right, well, I love you so much, but if you want that, then I'm just going to allow you to go for it. But then jumping into 33, it says, when Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in his spirit and greatly troubled. Remember that. God breaks for us when we're doing those things. So why do we turn against him in those moments? If he's the everything in our lives, and we know that he can restore us, he can heal us, he can help us through those times, it's kind of like that. God's breaking for us because he wants us to not deal with that stuff. He's there with us through it. And what do? Like I said, we just kind of get mad at God and just being like, God, why are you not there? Like, I think about that story. That story is perfect. Like, she's like totally dealing with something that's in, like, I can never imagine. Like, she's told that she's going to die, and she's dealing with a life-threatening disease. But she has peace at it. And she relies on God. Because she knows that the comfort comes from him. So jumping into 34, and he said, where have you laid him? So this is Lazarus. He says, they said to him, Lord, come and see. And Jesus wept. So he's weeping, guys. He's breaking. His heart's breaking for us. So the Jews said, see how he loved. Oh, I think I jumped ahead. Sorry, guys. Oh, no, there it is. But some of them said, come not he who opened the eyes of the blind man also have kept this man from dying? So there's questioning again, guys. Being like, okay, yeah, he's heartbroken because it's his best friend or whatever you want. His like great friend. Yeah, anything when we deal with those kind of things, when we're doing those, like, can we like our breaking? He's kind of thinking that. So, like, those people are like, well, all right, he's dealing with those emotions too. Then jumping into 38, it says, then Jesus, deeply moved again, he came to the tomb. It was a cave and a stone laid against it. Jesus says, take away the stone. Martha, the sister of the dead, said to him, Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead for 4 days. Jesus said to her, did I not tell you that if you believed, you should see the glory of God? So they took away the stone, and Jesus lifted his eyes and said, Father, thank you that you have heard me. I know that you always hear me, but I said this on account of the people standing around, that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said these things, he cried out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. And the man who had died came out, his hands and feet bound with linen straps, and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, unbind him and let him go. So you see, even the thing that guy, he goes back to that point saying that, didn't I tell you to believe in me, that I could do this? That I can heal the sick, I can heal the lame, I can raise the dead. And like I said, it's that half-believing kind of thing where we deal with that a lot too. So, and like I said, I kind of like that story, but it kind of makes me think of that. I had a great friend, his name is Josh, and his dad was dealing with the same kind of stuff. And so his dad had he ended up with stage 4 cancer at the end, but he battled the cancer twice. And all through the time that he was dealing with it, just like what Tamara said, was he had a peace with it. He understood that even though he was dealing with this cancer, he was dealing with this pain and this stuff like that, he still continued pushing toward God. He still grew. He wanted through that moments that he was dealing with it, that he wanted to reach other people and show them that even though we deal with brokenness and we deal with just pains and sufferings and just all these diseases and heartbreaks, that Jesus is the center. Jesus is what you need to help you and to help you through it, and just to be able to rely on him and just be able to lean against him when hardships come. And I've never seen a guy in my life work as hard as my friend Josh's dad. Like I said, he not only was doing leukemia, like he was doing all the treatments and stuff like that, but he was still working like a 40-hour work week. But the best part about it, every moment he had, he was seeking God in that. He was seeking God. He was in his word. He was going to Bible studies. He was going to church. He knew that the only thing that could get him through that time was Jesus. And so I kind of want to bring up with this point is, why do we always seem, when things are going great, we just rely on ourselves? And we basically, because the whole point of this is I am second kind of thing, is when great things are happening, why do I put myself first? But when those bad things come, I get mad at God. But why can't we, during the good and the bad, let God be in the front and be the first and be the one that's important to us? And be like, that's what I need. I need to have God as my first. So when the good times are happening, I can be praising God. But when the bad things are happening, I can still be praising God and still seeking him, because I understand and I truly, and that's the key, is not having this half-believe understanding that God can heal us and restore us and take us through the hardships, but having a full understanding and a full belief and a full faith in Christ that through those times that everything's going to be okay. Even when it seems like it's the end of this battle, it seems like we all have this kind of, it's sin. It's like cancer in ourselves that we're battling every day. And that's the thing, is we need to be relying on God and seeking him through it. And I kind of have this one thing is like I love, and I want to enter this before we get into discussion, is that I always think about this as like when I was in high school, I went to a winter camp and Francis Chan was there, and I don't know how many of you guys know who Francis is, but he's a really good known speaker, Christian. He used to be my senior pastor, and I loved it because it was amazing. But he came with this. He says, it seems like every day we have this, that great things are happening. So we have a plate, and we have our best on it, best of everything on there. And so we're always taking things from it because we want to be first. So we're taking this, saying, well, I need this. Well, I want a little bit of that because if I don't have that, people aren't going to like me. Well, I need a little bit more of this because I'm feeling self-conscious about this. But then we get to that point where like there's really nothing left, and all of a sudden it's just pain, and we're just like, well, why is there nothing there? It's because we're taking everything for ourselves and we're not giving anything to God. Like, how often do you guys do it? I said, I deal with that on a daily basis. Like, am I making sure that during those times that I'm seeking him, I'm giving him my all, but in the bad times, I'm still seeking and giving him my best? So we're going to go into discussions. I think they have them up there. So kind of, for a few minutes, I kind of want you guys to kind of just talk about it. And I want you guys to really think about these questions. So just kind of around you guys, just kind of talk about it.